Hi everyone, I'm Lauren Collins. I'm a pelvic health physical therapist. So today we are going to talk about masturbation. Masturbation is really a very healthy and normal thing for people to do. It has several benefits and we're going to get into some discussions around that. So first of all, let's just talk about some of the benefits that we get from masturbation. And one of them is just the increase in dopamine, endorphins, opioids, and oxytocin that our body emits with orgasm. And dopamine has several positive effects in that it gives us increased focus. It gives us a feeling of euphoria and being happy. All of these things that can help to counteract depression, for instance. Oxytocin gives us a feeling of being connected. So these are all very good things to feel with orgasm. Now, what happens with orgasm is that we're speaking in the case of women right now, is that a woman comes to her peak climax and the muscles around the vagina and around the clitoris kind of spasm up to give this I guess you could just say a huge spasm, and then a release of all these really wonderful endorphins, opioids, and just things that help us to feel better. So we're going to look a little bit into anatomy. Now, about 75% of women require stimulation of the clitoris to achieve orgasm. So again, here's our pelvic model, right? Here's the front, here's the back, and then if I lay it this way, this is as if a woman is laying on her back. Okay? Can everyone see this here? Here we go. So here is the clitoris, right? There's the clitoris. These are the labia majorum, the outer lips of the labia. These are the labia minora, the inner lips of surrounding the vaginal opening. There's the urethra where urine comes out of, and then here's the vagina. Okay, so again, here's the clitoris. And on top of the clitoris, there's a hood called the prepuce. Now, in the clitoris, we have about 8,000 nerve endings, which makes our clitoris our most sensitive area on our body in terms of nerve endings, and they're all condensed into this tiny space right here. Now, what a lot of people don't know as well is that the clitoris is not just this little button that sits underneath the prepuce or the hood. It actually extends down to both sides. There are almost kind of two legs that extend with the continuum of the glands of the clitoris that lays underneath these tissues here. Okay, and on all the length of the clitoris is about 9 centimeters. So there's a lot more there. So stimulation here is really important. And in fact, the clitoris is the only organ on us that's strictly made just for stimulation, just for feeling good. Also in women, another way to get aroused is the G-spot. And the G-spot is actually internal in the vagina. It's on the front wall of the vagina. So if this person's laying on their back, this going up this way, that would be the front wall or the anterior wall of the vagina. It's about in the last 1/3 of the vaginal wall. And it feels a little rougher than the rest of the vaginal tissue, but that's what we call the G-spot. And that's another area of stimulation. There are other sources that say there could be some stimulation around the cervix as well. So there are some different research and different opinions on that. Okay, so let's get back to the whole masturbation thing. Now, a lot of women, you have to find your clitoris first. So what I suggest is to do some investigation. Go get a mirror, not a tiny little pocket mirror like this size. Go get a real mirror. I'll show you what I mean. One second. Like a mirror. Go grab a mirror, okay? Grab a mirror. Sit comfortably, go against your headboard on your bed. Let your knees separate. Put some pillows to the side. Get comfortable and look and find your parts. Find your clitoris, right? See where your labia are. Find your vaginal opening. That's all going to be very important. Now, a lot of women have different sizes in their clitoris. Women, your clitoris gets larger as you get older. So some may be about the size of the end of this paintbrush. Some may be about the size of the end of this paintbrush. Can you kind of see the difference between the two? So it just depends, and it's all normal. The same thing with hoods over the clitoris. Some are slightly larger than others. And if that's the case, with masturbation, I'm going to use my other model you guys have seen me use. With masturbation, you may have to, here's the clitoris, here's the hood. You may have to pull the hood back a little bit to get to the clitoris so you can get sufficient stimulation for orgasm. Also, the left side of the clitoris tends to be more sensitive than the rest of it. So rubbing there can give you some increased stimulation. With masturbation, you'll want to use some lubricant. You can either use a water-based lubricant like I have pointed out to you all before. The one that we use here, or I use here, is Slippery Stuff. It's a water-based lubricant with few irritants in it. You can also use things, as I've suggested before, like olive oil or coconut oil. Just if you plan on having intercourse after masturbation, then you'll not want to use an oil-based one because oil breaks down latex if you're using a condom with intercourse. Okay? The other thing about masturbation is that when you're stimulating the clitoris, most women do not like to be rubbed heavily, a lot of friction. That just tends not to be a good feeling. So, you know, when you're working on yourself and you're looking at your clitoris and your other tissues, see what kind of pressure you like. A lot of times there'll be a gentle pressure with lubricant, circles. Also, the labia minora here can have some stimulation there. Okay, so just play with yourself, right? Find what feels good for you until you get to the point of orgasm. Orgasm is very good, like I said, in releasing those endorphins. But masturbation in general is just good for knowing your body, knowing your anatomy, knowing what feels good, being able to communicate with your partner what feels good and how to stimulate you and what type of pressure to use, what makes you comfortable, and also what makes you feel safe. The other point that I want to kind of talk about with this is children. Children masturbate. So don't be surprised or feel like freaked out if you happen to walk in on your child masturbating. I mean, as young as 6 years old, maybe sometimes even a little bit younger. And that's normal. What you want to check on is to make sure that no one else, of course, has been touching your child in that way. But masturbation is normal. And I would encourage, and this is my opinion, I would encourage parents to discuss it with their child and allow their child to be able to masturbate. Just discuss parameters around it, such as you do it in private in your bedroom. You don't do it in the middle of the living room. But it allows children to understand what a good touch feels like. It allows children to understand what their bodies can do and how their bodies feel. It gives them some independence. So I think masturbation is very healthy for all ages, as long as it's within a comfort range and it's not being done in an unsafe way. So that is my talk for today. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them down below. If you want to follow me, you can follow me. My website is www.vitalselfpt.com, or you can follow me on Twitter at LaurenVitalSelf, or my Facebook page, Vital Self Physical Therapy LLC. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day and rest of your week, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye. Blessings, everyone.